Hey everyone. Hey, my dear brothers and sisters in Jesus Christ. I am far from a perfect person. I'm not judging the people on this channel unfairly. They are doing Freemason satanic signs and symbols, and they push those kind of agendas. They're doing that. I am not doing that. I just want people, pardon me, I just want people to understand that, I'm wagging my finger at the celebrities because of whatever reason. No, I'm a sinner in need of a Savior, but I've solved that problem by having faith in Jesus Christ. These people, whether you believe it or not, have sold their soul, in quotes, to the devil for fame, fortune, success. They're involved in Freemasonry and secret societies. It's Satanism. And just so you know, there's real Satanism that people partake in. And even if you're someone that just doesn't have faith in Jesus Christ, you're on Team Satan. Congratulations. I'm letting you know that. Not to be rude to you or upset you. Well, maybe a little upset you, because you should have the fear of God. It's the beginning of wisdom and knowledge of the holy is understanding. We are living in a time that are the last days before the rapture of the church. We are living in a time where, the internet in general, but Google and YouTube, if you want to know something, you can know something. Once more, it's censored, especially in the last few years, where they realized that Christians were waking up. People were waking up, becoming Christians, realizing biblical cosmology, realizing that everything they're telling us is a big scam and a big lie. Liars will have their part in the lake of fire. I know that I often get frustrated on this channel. I speak about, people I love not getting stuff and how frustrating that is. And it is. It's like the most frustrating thing. Because it's like, so you can't see this? What? What's going on here? And then they just change the topic or get mad at you or something like that. That has been so weird in my life. That is so weird. So I'll get on with the usual content here, but I want to say, I'm so surprised how many people don't see this stuff. And it's just so weird to me. And I try pretty hard to show them this stuff and say, here's another example, and here's another example, and this is connected, and this is connected. The world is biblical. The world is biblical. That means the Bible is true and it describes the world. It tells you what's happening now. It tells you what's happening in the future. It tells you what happened in the past. It kind of does everything. Pardon me. So I want people to just to get this already. There's so much going on. It's hard to understand if you haven't been researching. You should be doing that, by the way. That's some advice I want to give you, you watching right now. Why don't you do just a little bit of research into something you're uncomfortable with? I know this stuff is weird, but it's true. Léa Seydoux is an actress, and a lot of people will say it's an actor, and I'm not always sure about the gender thing, so I'm not always going to mention it. While there's no single definitive public figure for Léa Seydoux' exact net worth, estimates suggest she's a multimillionaire due to her successful international career in French and Hollywood films, etc., likely in the tens of millions. So again, that's not a surprise, And I'm not saying oh, this person sucks because of that. They've made some money, good for them. But here's the problem. This is 666 over one eye symbolism, the Eye of Horus. It's this one finger, and you follow it like this. If you're drawing, makes a 6. The second finger in the circle, if you're drawing, makes another 6. The pinky and the circle make 3 6s for 666 over one eye. Why is she doing that? Do you have an answer? What I'm trying to get you to do, though, like, I don't need to preach to the choir. They know what's going on. And like sometimes I know these videos are repetitive, but like I'm just trying to like keep it up and like just have people go, okay, there's really something to this. And there's new people all the time and that kind of thing. So, but I know most people on this channel know that this is 666 in the Eye of Horus and it's satanic. But if you're someone that doesn't believe that, what is she doing then? Like, just ask yourself that. And like, why are so many others, many others do the same thing? Why is this happening? Can you see my frustration? Because people are like, I don't know, and they dismiss it. They don't want to get real with things. They don't want to know that this is satanic stuff. They don't. They'd have to get right with God. They'd have to realize that they're a sinner. I mention that often, not to exclude myself, because I'm a sinner. I sin. I backslide. I suck at sometimes. Like, I have my moments of like, serenity with the Lord and just having a prayer life and, being on the narrow path. And anyways, again, I'm like you guys. I'm not a perfect person. I backslide sometimes. I sin. I get angry. People suck. People suck at driving. All that kind of stuff. I need more patience. And like, I do pray about these things. But this is 666 in the Eye of Horus, okay? This is one eye symbolism again, the Eye of Horus. She's taken a flower, darkening one eye utterly, doing one eye symbolism. It is a satanic thing. If you don't believe this, you will find out one day. Why don't you want to believe it now so you can wake up and understand the truth and have a closer relationship with God? Right? Another little flower just so happens to block one of her eyes. Why is she doing that? She's got a playing card darkening one of her eyes for one eye symbolism. Some kind of like metal feather thing. I'm not sure what that is. But you know what it's doing? What's it doing? Is it darkening one of her eyes, covering it up and having one eye symbolism? Is that what it's doing? These people are celebrities. They get paid to be in things like commercials and advertisements to sell the public things they don't need and to idolize them, saying, oh, they're rich and famous and fancy dancy. I better want to be like them. No, you don't. You don't want to be a sold out satanic Freemason. That'll send you to hell. Prada, I am not a fashion person at all. I know literally like nothing about the fashion industry, but I know this is like perfume or cologne, or I think it's perfume. And she's doing one eye symbolism with it. I wonder why. She's doing perfume again and a flower covering one of her eyes, having one eye symbolism. ID Magazine is a satanic magazine. Of course it is, right? You're saying like, oh, of course it is, crazy person. No, it truly is. Here's the letter I sideways with a dash in the middle, and then the letter D. ID Magazine. But it's also, this eye is open, this eye is closed, there's the nose, and this is a smiley face. It's also a face winking for one eye symbolism, just like she's doing here. She's on a magazine cover, ID Magazine, and she's winking. This eye's darkened, it's closed, and she's got one eye revealed. That's as simple as it can be. Why do you think she's winking? Just like really, if you're unsure and like you just, again, So why is she winking doing one eye symbolism again? It's for the same reason. She hides her hand in her coat the way a Freemason would do. Not sure about that one? This one's much clearer. Can you see that she's tucking her hand in there, hiding her hand the way a Freemason would do? Women can't be Freemasons. Yes, yes. Yes, they can. And I don't even think they need to belong to, I can't even remember what it's called right now. What's it called? Doesn't matter. Women can be Freemasons. Like, this is clear. This is a female hiding her hand in her coat. As far as I know, I know a lot of people like every single person's trans. I just don't believe that. And like, I can't prove that. So I'm not like, if I'm unsure and I don't know, I'm not going to bring it up in a video if I don't know. To me, this is a woman. It reads as a woman. Okay. I just know that the truth community gets on that quite a bit, and I'm not trying to be like, I'm not trying to deny it or anything. Like, there's a lot of transgender people out there for sure, and there's a lot that are hard to tell exactly what they are because, unfortunately, like, this stuff happens to people when they're children, which absolutely breaks my heart and breaks my brain, and like thinking about child abuse in all of its forms, like, oh my goodness, like, it's horrible. It's horrible. I can't imagine what that does to someone's mentality and their mental health and everything, right? And that's why we see that in Hollywood. Like, when certain celebrities freak out, like, I don't need to get into it. You guys know, like, Britney Spears shaved her head and went crazy and did this, that. Like, it's because she's a part of a satanic system that has brainwashed her. I won't get into the MK Ultra because I just don't get into that much. But like, there is brainwashing and there is like this, you're not working for Jesus in Hollywood. You're working for the devil. It's time for more people to wake up and realize that. Because to me, for people to ignore this, it's not okay. It's not okay. You need to realize this. I'm going to wrap up this video now, but I appreciate everyone watching and listening. If you can't tell by the tone of my voice and how I make my videos, because I just get on here and start talking. I don't have any plans ever. I'm just like, let's show this stuff. Let's talk about it. Let's have a conversation. Let's get it out there. Let's not be too crazy about it. Like, that's why I talk about like the trans thing, because I'm like, I'm not going to say it every time. Some people I think want me to, but like, I don't know every time. And sometimes I think people are wrong. Sometimes I think they're like, this person's trans, and I don't think they're trans. That's just my opinion, right? I'm trying to use discernment as best as I can. I don't want to get on here and lie to people, exaggerate things, do anything other than preach the truth, preach the gospel, the simple gospel. It is both so simple a child can understand it and tell it, but it's also very complex. And for some people, it takes a lifetime to get there because they've just been ignoring God and being brainwashed by the world, and they don't realize how severe the brainwashing is. It will cause you mental health problems. I'm just warning you. Don't be afraid of it because you'll get through it with Jesus Christ. But that's what I think a lot of people are afraid of with this stuff. It's so mentally weird. I get it, but knowing this for so many years now and seeing it so clearly, like, again, she's not hiding her hand in her coat the way a Freemason would do. That's what she's doing because she's a sold out Satanist. That's what's happening. That is what's happening. And if you don't know this, you should know this. And if you don't know it and don't want to know it, you will find out one day. And it could be when you're in hell. I don't want that for you. That's a huge part of why I do this channel, is because I don't want people to go to hell. I don't hate these celebrities. I don't hate this person here hiding their hand in their coat. And I say they not to be woke and go along with the trans stuff, but just if I can't tell if it's a male or female, sometimes I have to say they, or I'll just use their name, Leah. They're hiding their hand in their coat the way a Freemason would do because they're satanic. And that's the way the world works. There's a lot of way worse stuff that I don't touch on because, right, my channel's already crazy enough as it is to some people. I try not to get too down on myself because, once more, I don't have this all figured out. I don't. I'm just trying every day. I'm being very honest in my videos. Like I said, I get on here, I just start talking. Sometimes I rant away for way too long, like this video. But just there's so much stuff all the time. And for me, it's like it's the same thing. It feels like that movie Groundhog Day with Bill Murray, where he wakes up, slams the alarm every time, and gets up, and it's the same day repeating itself. And then he tries to you know, he tries to get out of that. He tries to off himself a few times, and then he tries to get better, and he takes piano lessons and if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, then you don't know what I'm talking about. But life can be like that for me, and I think a lot of people sometimes, where it's just like, okay, we're going to get up again tomorrow, and we're going to try and tell people what's going on. They're not going to listen, and then we'll get depressed about it and anxious about it, and then we won't be able to just, that's kind of what it is all the time, and that's what I deal with. I'm not asking for sympathy. I would like to ask for prayers. That's always good. And I know a lot of people on this channel do pray for me. And don't think that I think of that lightly. I think that's very important, and I really appreciate it. Sometimes people are like, I pray for you. I'm like, well, that's probably one of the best things I could ask for. So again, this girl covers her eye, if it is a girl. This girl covers her eye, does the Eye of Horus a whole bunch of times, and hides her hand in her coat. There's probably more photos out there of her doing other signs and symbols, but as far as this video goes, isn't that something? Do you not think this is suspicious? Especially when I've shown it hundreds, thousands of times. So you don't think that's suspicious? You really think it's just nothing? You don't think there could possibly be a spiritual thing to the world where you're unaware of it because you're just too busy with other things? I'll put it lightly. And so she's not hiding her hand in her coat? Anyways, brothers and sisters and everyone else, God bless you.